and we've got people asking from all over the place for the recipe, so here it is. Let's get into it. Okay, so we've got our 1 kilo of flour. We've got a wee mixer. If you've got a small mixer, you can just cut this recipe down by a third and it will work equally well. And if you don't have a mixing machine, you can mix this all together on your bench or a board. So for raisins, here we go. We're going to go a nice cup. It doesn't matter if it's slightly over. Cool. Here you go, currants. That's half a cup of that. Sorry, I missed out the mixed peel. 3/4 of a cup. This is a lovely fresh peel. It's lovely and moist. Cinnamon, 1.5 teaspoons. And it doesn't really matter if these are a little bit high. Mixed spice, 1.5. Got our cloves, I'm gonna go 1 of that. Allspice, 1 of that. I like allspice. And a little bit of nutmeg. And you can use fresh nutmeg and just grate it in, roughly about 1/2 teaspoon. So about 12 grams of yeast, which is 3 level teaspoons. So in we go. And I'm using a little bit of Himalayan pink salt here. And 25 grams of that is 3 teaspoons of this. And I've got 3 tablespoons of olive oil. This is just tinned olive oil, not the super good stuff. All right, in this I just need to get 650 mils of just tepid water or even cold water. And we're gonna pop that in there and bring that together. It's 500, cool. And up she comes. And just start it out on the slowest speed possible. And just right from the start, you can see all that water getting absorbed into that mixture. And that's looking really good. Now I'm just gonna stop this for a moment. Here we go. So right now, you can see that beautiful fruit just all coming through there. And you can see this dough is starting to actually rise up. Just turn that off. Starting to rise up around the dough hook. Okay, so here she is. We're just gonna pull that out. Okay, so here we are. So we've got this dough and it's just not sticky, like it's just lovely and soft. It's still nice and cool, it hasn't got too hot from mixing. So we're gonna pop it into a bowl and we're gonna do a bulk proof, which means basically just rise by itself in a nice warm place for about 2 hours. Got my bowl, bit of olive oil, and this is just gonna stop the dough from sticking, not too much. While it's not sticky now, once that rises up, we don't want to destroy the structure of it by tearing it. So in she goes, just put a little bit of olive oil on top, and then I just want to get a piece of Glad wrap or plastic cling film and put that over top. It's an autumn, so I'm just going to pop it down there by the window. And 2 hours, 2.5 hours, you just really want to see that dough rise and at least double in size. Okay, so it's been about 2.25 hours and this has come up beautifully. Look at that. I'll just take that off. Look at that. It's got, you can see just a beautiful wobble. And what you want to do with all doughs is catch it on the rise. You can see just how gorgeous that is. And now we're going to shape this up. Put these into 130 grams, 4 grams over. It's pretty close. Yep, bang on. Oh, I can't wait. The smell is incredible. So what do we get there? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we're just going to shape these up. And all I'm going to do is just make a bit of a cage with my hand. And the easiest way I can describe is I'm going to go in a circular motion. And I'm not going to put too much flour on the bench. So sometimes there's the consistency of the dough has enough flour in it already and I don't need it. If it's overproofed, it can actually get a bit wet. And that's when you just need a wee dust of flour, but this is great. So I'm just making a cage with my fingers, nice and wide, and then I'm putting a bit of downward pressure. And I'm just letting it roll around my finger, and even just doing it in slow motion is bring it together. But I just need a little bit of downward motion just to get this to seal over. So it's a mixture of downward pressure and circular motion. Cool. You might get a little bit of fruit that pops out on top, that's absolutely fine. Here's my tray. These are going to be absolutely beauties. Just a little bit of a gap between them because these are going to rise. So there we go, we've got 16 rolls, perfect. And now I'm going to cover them and put them back into a warm place. And they might take maybe another hour to come up. Okay, got a tea towel. So I'm just going to give it a quick dip. not crazy wet. You want to make sure it's well wrung out. Over top and into a warm place. Cool. Okay, so it's been about an hour and a half. It is about as good as you want to get it. Look at that, they are just lovely, plump. I've turned my oven up to 250 degrees. I've got it on a grill fan bake, so it's like the hottest top and bottom heat I can do in my oven. That's nice and hot. Now all we have to do is do the fun part and make the crosses. So I've got half a cup of water. So I'm going to add about roughly equal parts, and I want to make like a slurry. And I want it to be quite thick. It's kind of like making paper mache, but one you can eat. So it's quite thick. Get it really stirred in. Give it a good firm mix to really get that flour and water combined. That's looking good. So in order to be able to pipe our crosses on, we're going to need a sheet of paper. We'll just move this out of the way. And this is just baking paper that's been cut into a large triangle. And so it's a rectangle, cut it in half, and then the longest edge of the triangle, you want to put your finger in the middle, grab the end furthest away from you. That's the easiest way I can remember. Bring it in, twist it, and then it makes a basic cone shape. Just going to grab that last little bit, just in case we need it all. Okay, now this is the tricky part. You want to fold over the top to keep it captured in. And you just got to make sure it doesn't all fall apart on you. So I'm twisting this in on itself, and now we've got a nice secure bag. And I'll just get a pair of scissors and I'll cut the end off. I like nice big thick crosses, so I'm going to cut a decent piece off. And you can just work from one end, and there we go. Nice big hot cross buns. Into the oven they go, 15 minutes. Okay, so one little trick we can do with our hot cross buns once they're in the oven to help them get an extra oven spring is we're going to introduce a little bit of water. It's going to help those buns really jump. So just a quarter cup of water. And once you bang that into the oven, it could be ice cubes. You could put like 4 or 5 ice cubes. Once that's in, keep that door shut because you want that steam to stay in there during the baking process. And now all we're going to do now is make a little glaze of sugar and water. We're just going to chuck in half a cup of water into a saucepan and half a cup of sugar. And we're literally just going to bring that to the boil. Give it about a minute once it comes to the boil. Bring them on out. You don't want them too dark. I'll show you where we're at. Fantastic. And here we go. The final finished product. Lovely and golden brown. I've got my sugar glaze ready to go. And we're just going to brush that on. Beautiful. You can hear that sizzling. And I'm just going to absorb into that. Fantastic. Now these ones that look quite dark at the back, by the time you get the glaze on, they're just going to lighten up. What I like to do is give them a second glaze, because the first one absorbs in and then the second one makes it super nice and shiny. Now we just need this to cool down, and we can take them out and we can rip into them. So there you have it. Look at these bad boys. 16 gloriously glazed, bursting with fruit, flavour bomb Easter buns. Make a heap, pop some in the freezer, toast them up, make bread and butter pudding. These babies will see you right.